Hi everybody, it's Jeff from Elk Mountain Gear, and today I got a recipe that's going to knock your socks off. I've made this for guests and they've likened it to eating in a French restaurant. One of the best things you can do with elk or venison. And I happen to have a couple of elk chops right here. And one of the things that really becomes important with elk or venison or wild game in general is you have to trim all the fat, gristle, white matter from the meat before you do anything with it. And so I'm going to go ahead and attack these chops right now. Let's get to it. So as you can see now, what I've got is two very clean chops that are pretty much pure lean meat, which is what you want to start with. And the next step now is I'm going to marinate these, and I'll show you how that's done. I'm going to go ahead and make a marinade using balsamic vinegar. This is kind of a pepper blend, and I have some sun-dried tomatoes that are packed in olive oil, and I like to use the olive oil from the sun-dried tomatoes because it gives it a way better flavor. Works really well with venison and elk and so forth. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm just going to strain some of that olive oil in there. And when you're done, you can refill the sun-dried tomatoes with extra virgin olive oil, and so that it will absorb the flavor and you can use it again. And a little balsamic vinegar goes a long way, since it's very intense. I'm going to use probably half the amount that I used of the oil. And pepper. I'm going to whisk this together until it gets kind of creamy. Smells really good. Drop the chops down in there. Okay. And you can do this overnight in the fridge. I happen to have a vacuum sealer, and so what I like to do is go ahead and vacuum seal in this canister, and what that does is pulls the marinade through the meat. Really speeds up your marination time. So I'm going to go ahead and vacuum seal that right now. So I've basically sucked all the air out of this canister, so there's actually a vacuum, and it just kind of pulls that marinade through that meat. I'm going to stick this in the fridge for anywhere from 20 minutes to a couple hours, and then we'll be back to finish our recipe. Okay, we're ready to do some damage here now. I've cooked up some bacon, and I've got some bacon grease in the pan. Nice and hot, ready to go. Got my steaks out of the marinade. cook those for a few seconds on either side. Now I'm going to turn the heat down. And I'm going to move my steaks over to the edge of the pan. And throw in the onions. I'm only making a half recipe because it's just me and my daughter tonight, so you can read the full recipe on the blog. So I'm going to saute these onions until they're clear, or at least milky, which should just take a few minutes. Okay, it's been a few minutes and the onions are looking kind of milky, so I'm going to go ahead and add some of the other ingredients here. Got the bouillon. And the wine. And this is, I don't know, some kind of mystery wine. My wife had it on the counter, so that's what we're using. So definitely some kind of reddish, burgundy-ish wine. And now, these sun-dried tomatoes, and what I want to do is drain these. And then I kind of like them a little less coarse, so I'll just take a pair of scissors and go down in the can and start chopping. I want smaller chunks. There, that's a little better. So I'm just going to add half the can since this is a half recipe. Use the rest of it later for something else. And I'm going to kind of stir that all together. And I'm going to reduce the heat now, way down. The secret to this is low and slow, just barely simmering for maybe 3 hours. So we'll be back. And I'm going to eat this bacon. It's been 3 hours, and 3 hours is a long time. But I'm going to see if I can cut this with a spoon. That's amazing. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I have heated up the oven. I got a couple plates in there, nice and warm. I'm going to take the steaks and move them onto the plates. And back in the oven they go. I just have it on 250. Just enough to keep everything nice and warm. And we're going to add the rest of our ingredients now. Sour cream. And you can see what's left in the pan after the 3 hours. There's basically hardly any liquid at all. It's mostly just solids. It's a very, very rich reduction. So mix that all up with the sour cream there. I'm going to increase the heat just a little bit. what this technique. Got a can of mushrooms here. And we're going to stir that into that sauce. It looks phenomenal. We just need to get everything heated through and we're pretty much done. Wow, that's got a great flavor. You might want to add just a touch of salt and pepper, but in this case I'm just going to add a little bit of pepper. That's pretty much all it's going to need. So once this gets hot, we're going to take our plates out and top those steaks with this amazing rich sauce. Okay, steaks are out of the oven, and we're going to go ahead and pour this beautiful rich sauce over the steaks. Throw in a couple of green salads here, and Holly and I are ready to have dinner. Hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope you amaze your friends with it.